All right. Well, in the wake of the recent mass shootings, uh, at least one of which was nearly entirely racially motivated, and the other of which, largely seems to have resulted in as many deaths as it resulted in because of the failure on the part of the police to act, even though they had arrived at the scene. And their contribution to the deaths of 19 largely 10-year-old children and 2 adults. And not only did the police fail to respond to the shooting, but they actually did less than nothing, because they halted the intervention of parents, some of whom were handcuffed, some of whom were assaulted with pepper spray, and at least one of whom, managed to make it through the police obstruction and valiantly, rescue her children. So in the wake of these events, I thought, I would do another sorting piece. Once again, sorting by the pronoun Ted Cruz. And I thought we would sort assault rifles by their costs. And this chart is a chart of Congress members with the most contributions from gun rights groups. Gun rights is essentially a euphemism for anti-gun legislation groups, right? Including obviously the NRA, but I suppose other groups as well. See, Mitch McConnell's right up there. We may sort, some of these other individuals. It's interesting that they're all Republicans. So these are the Congress members with the highest contributions from gun rights groups, and you can see the contributions are pretty high. In the other chart that we looked at, Ted Cruz's contributions significantly, exceeded those of the other Congress members. But here you see that Steve Scalise and a few of these other individuals have, they're getting pretty close. And so I don't know anything. I've never owned a gun in my life and have no intention of ever owning one for any purpose whatsoever, whether that's the killing of animals or the killing of robbers, bank robbers, or the killing of African American adolescents and young adults, or the killing of school children. None of those activities have particularly any interest for me. And in fact, I've spent a considerable amount of time politicizing the issue of violent death in the United States by these weapons. And so I don't really, I know what the cost in human life is, and I know that this cost isn't egalitarian. I know, for example, that more African Americans are killed by in gun violent shootings, whether those are mass shootings or otherwise, than a cross-cut section of the racial designation, you know, white American. And I know that this is true for all individuals of color, in spite of the fact that the crimes are overrepresented. You know, the criminals are overrepresented in the white population. So this is, you know, an issue of racial justice. However, anyone in the right wing media wants to frame it, and if you look at the representatives here that are receiving all of the money from the gun lobbies, they're all overwhelmingly, you know, white males, right? And that's not an accident either. So something that we want to, you know, pay attention to as we're doing our sorting. But for the purposes of this sorting by pronoun, which you'll recall, there are a lot of performance pieces that we've done that involve sorting by different kinds of pronouns, and this is going to involve the pronoun, you know, Ted Cruz. So what I thought I would do is I would take this this number, $442,000, and see, you know, how many assault rifles of various brands and makes that we could purchase with this money. And in order to do so, I have opened a box to a calculator, which will make the process much easier. So I found a site, and I don't know if these prices are accurate or not, but I'm just going to take their word for it. As I said, I've never purchased either an assault rifle or any other type of firearm, and you know, and as I also mentioned, you know, precisely because I'm not, you know, interested in killing anyone, and if I were interested in target practice, you know, I would buy myself a water pistol, or, you know, or some other toy that would, you know, accomplish a similar task without risking human life. So let's see. All we have to really do is remember that it was $442,000, and then we can use our calculator here, and we can determine. So the first item that we want to see how many Anderson AM-15s we can buy with $442,000, and all right, we'll just round up and call that 804. So with the money that Ted Cruz receives from the gun lobbies each year, 804 American terrorists could purchase an Anderson AM-15. And so, let's see. So you figure, you know, potentially, the potential is there for 804 mass shootings. And then let's just, the mass shooting that, we'll just use the Uvalde, Texas shooting as a model, and round up to 20, or round down actually to 21 lives were lost. So we're rounding up here, and we can round down on the shooting, so 804. I'll just leave the number there, times 20. So potentially, with the money that Ted Cruz receives from the gun lobbyists, that's enough to purchase. Well, I don't know how much the ammunition is. Let's just say that he borrows ammunition money from Mitch McConnell, and then that's enough to purchase the loss of 16,072 American lives utilizing an Anderson AM-15. All right, so let's clear that, and then the next model is the M&P Sport 3, which is a little bit more expensive, but it says here it's decent and dependable. So 442,000. Oops, need another zero. It's a lot of money. Divided by 750. So that's 589 M&P Sport 3 AR-15s, which are decent and dependable. And do away with at least, oops, I want to go back. What was it, 593? And all right, so that's 11,860 lives that can American lives that the amount of money that Ted Cruz receives from the gun lobby can eliminate from our democracy. Let's see if that was correct. I want to go back and make sure that I remembered that number correctly. $11,786. All right. Okay, so the next brand is the Ruger AR-556, which is also $750. So that's the same number that we just had, 11,700 and some. The next model is the PSA. I don't know if that PA is Pennsylvania. PSA, not to be confused with PSAT 15, also $750. So the same number on that one. Decent quality, fairly durable, reliable. You know, you're in the middle of your shooting spree. You don't want your gun to jam or freeze up on you in any way. Okay, the Advanced Armament Corporation AR-15. That's a new price, $950. So 442,000 divided by 950 is 465. Is that right? Doesn't seem right. And with this one, if you really want to go for the high quality, the Advanced Armament Corporation AR-15, which is highly reliable and fairly accurate, you can only measure this in the cost of 9,305 lives. Let's see. Springfield Saint is the next one. The next couple are easy. Both the Springfield Saint and the SIG M400 are $1,000. So all we have to do is take off a few of the zeros, right? And you can buy 442 of these, and then the lives that you can destroy with this particular, either one, with the Springfield Saint or the SIG M400 is around 8,840. The next one is the Colt CR 6920. That's $1,100. You can buy 401, almost 402 of those, the Colt CR 6920. Well, law enforcement likes this one, or law enforcement quality. So if you're in law enforcement, you may already have one, so you wouldn't even need to buy it. Times 20 equals 8,036 lives lost. Just based on Ted Cruz's money. We have. I mean, if we really even want to spread that money around, we have a lot more money available if we include the rest of these Republican congressmen. All right. Okay, the next one, they're getting a little expensive. The Desert Tech MDR, highly accurate, compact design, powerful. So you can, not only can you murder American citizens with this, but you could probably go to a zoo and kill off the elephants, or whatever you care to destroy. $2,500, and the same for the Colt. The Colt is also $2,500. So we'll go ahead and figure the cost in human lives, as well as how many purchases you can make for both the Colt and the Desert Tech retro reissue. Wow, interesting. $442,000. Divided by 2,500 is you can only buy 177 of those, or close to 177, and the cost in human life, if you use that, mass shooting is only 3,536 American lives. So not nearly as if you wanted to be cost efficient, you go for the Anderson